Hello and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. Today's video is the complete guide to the coinage of Queen Elizabeth I. So we'll have a look at all the coins used under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I and hope to gain an insight and an overview to the coinage used under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I back in the 15 and early 1600s. She reigned, of course, from 1558 to 1603, so a long reign with many, many wonderful coins minted under her long and famous reign. So we'll go through these coins in ascending denomination order, starting with the lowest value coins and then going up to the highest. The lowest value coin minted under Elizabeth I was the halfpenny. And here it is, so let's begin. Now we can see a very simple design, and because the coin is so small, no portrait. We have to the reverse there a fairly long cross reaching almost to the side of the coin with milling around and 3 dots in each quarter, and to the obverse a portrait of the portcullis, the sort of logo of the Houses of Parliament. The next denomination is a more obscure one. It is the 3 farthing coin, of course worth 3 farthings, which is 3/4 of a pence. A bigger coin now, including the date there above the shield with a long cross to the reverse, and to the obverse, the smallest portrait of Queen Elizabeth I, facing to the left. She wears a dress and a Tudor rose and a crown on her head, and behind her is the Tudor rose, of course, as she is a Tudor monarch, and both sides feature a legend around the coin. Some more design detail can be added now to the larger coin on a larger denomination. Moving up another denomination, now onto the penny, a classic denomination. As we can see here, has a very similar design with the uninclusion of a few of the details. We have no date there to the top of the shield, but the shield remains the same with the 4 quarterings and a long cross running through. And the obverse, again simpler than the last smaller denomination, seeing the Queen once again facing to the left with a Tudor ruff, dress and crown, but this time no rose behind her, and once again the legend around. This will be a reoccurring theme for the coinage of Queen Elizabeth I, with some denominations having a date and the rose, and some denominations, for no apparent reason to me, having no date and no rose. Comment down below if you know why. Moving now on to the 3 halfpence, a coin worth 3 halfpennies or 1.5 pence. We have a very similar design to the 3 farthings, with the date there above the quartered shield with the 2 parts featuring the 3 lions of England and 2 parts featuring the fleur-de-lis, again long cross through and legend around, and the same portrait of Elizabeth I to the obverse with the Tudor rose now behind her, and then once again the legend around and a crown on her head. Moving up to the next denomination used in these times, it was the 2 pence piece, and here we see it, and again now there is no Tudor rose and no date, but a very similar design. However, you can see the inclusion of 2 dots behind her portrait, 2 dots for 2 pence. That is giving us the denomination or the value of 2 pence, 2 dots. For smaller coins, it would have been done by hand and by weight, recognizing the coins as that's the smallest coin, it must be the halfpenny, or by the design and the size, how you'd recognize the coins back then. Moving on to the 3 pence or the threepence. A bit more detail can be seen now to the coin, the Elizabeth I 3 pence being roughly the same size as a modern penny. We can once again see the rose behind the Queen with crown, Tudor ruff and dress, legend around, and then to the reverse, the date is there and can be seen above the shield, once again with the same 4 quarterings and the long cross running through as an attempt to stop the people being able to clip the coins at the time as it ran to the edges, so the edges could be seen if they were clipped. Now onto the 4 pence or the groat, and we can see here this is the simplified design with no date above the shield, but a very neat and more strongly struck design now on the larger planchet. And then to the obverse, we see the iconic left-facing bust of Queen Elizabeth I with her crown, her Tudor ruff, but no rose on the groat, so no roses on groats a feature, as no dates feature on the groats as well, for the groat is a more simplified design across the board for all years minted. Moving now on to the 6 pence, a very highly minted denomination, one of the more common denominations from Elizabeth I, and we can see here there's design very similar, with the details added, as I like to say, with the rose, the Tudor rose behind the Queen and her usual portrait with legend around, and the date there, in this case 1565, above the standard design of the shield with the quartering of the long cross running through and the legend around. A very cool, iconic design, and now given more detail, more space on the bigger coin for the 6 pence piece. Similar size to a modern 50 pence. Now onto the shilling coin, another high denomination, highly minted denomination, with many being struck in her reign. We have here the simplified design though, as we can see here, a lovely uniform shield there to the reverse, but no date feature on any Elizabeth I shillings, and no Tudor rose features or any dots for the denomination or Roman numerals, as some hammered coins have, giving us the 12 or the 12 pence of a shilling. None of that here, just a plain simple design with a quarter-armed shield with a long cross running through and the portrait to the obverse. Now onto the half crown, as of course there's no florins minted under in this time in this reign. So now we have the half crown is a coin with a much bigger planchet, therefore having a much more detailed design. We can see a lovely bordered shield there. We have a nice sort of border around the shield with the long cross running through for the reverse design. And then to the obverse, a lovely portrait of Queen Elizabeth I. She wears a crown and a very pomp dress there, we can see through the time of the Elizabethan era, with her Tudor ruff as well. She then holds the sword and scepter there, of course, for the coronation sort of style design, as we can see on the obverse. Moving now on to the highest value silver coin of the time, which is the crown, worth 1/4 of a pound, and we have the exact same design used on the coin. Now you can see for the crown and the half crown, that much more time and effort has been put into doing the design, not just the actual design of the coin, but the whole striking process. You can see all the lettering and the shape of the coin much more uniform and intact. So here we have all the coin denominations used under Queen Elizabeth I. We have the halfpenny, we have the 3 farthings, we have the penny, we have the 1.5 pence or 3 halfpence, we have the 2 pence, we have the 3 pence, we have the 4 pence or the groat, we have the 6 pence, we have the shilling, we have the half crown, and then the largest silver coin, of course, is the crown with a diameter of almost 40 millimeters. So a lovely piece of silver there with a great design and a great size to it in the hand would have been good to use. And now we come on to the gold coins of Elizabeth I, of which there are 2 types. Up until 1584, all gold coins were minted under the angel denomination, and then after 1584, all gold coins were linked to the sovereign value. So we begin with the angels, starting off with the quarter angel, the smallest gold coin of the first half of her reign, and here we have it. I won't dwell on the design too long, as the same design is used for the higher value ones, so we can see it in more detail, but the quarter angel is worth 5 shillings, so had the same value as the crown, so a lovely large silver crown or a small quarter angel held the same value of 60 pence, 5 shillings back in the day. Moving then on to the half angel, worth 120 pence or 1/2 of a pound. Here we can see the design more closely. We have a lovely galleon there to the reverse, with the royal courted arms shield in, and an E to the top with a rose. Elizabeth Rose, of course, for Elizabeth I, a Tudor monarch, with legend around. The reverse here depicts Archangel Michael slaying a dragon, with the top of his spear featuring a crosslet, of course a reference to his holy nature as an archangel, as we can see there, doing God's work, putting the evil, personified by the dragon, to death. Then we can see the legend around there. Then moving on to the angel, worth 240 pence or 1 pound, and here we have it, the same design here. We can see again very good detail with Archangel Michael there slaying the dragon to the obverse, with his spear again holding the crosslet to the top, and he has a halo around him and wings, of course, depicting he is an angel. We then have to the reverse, the quartered arm shield within a galleon, with you can see the top of the rigging there to the top of the mast, a cross to the centre of the mast, and then an E and a rose once again for Elizabeth Rose, a Tudor queen by the name of Elizabeth. Now, as I say, in 1584, the change was made from using angel gold coins to gold sovereigns. And as you may know from more modern times, under the sovereign values comes the crown. Here we have a gold crown from Queen Elizabeth I, the smallest denomination minted under the sovereign era gold coinage. We have a quartered arms shield there to the reverse, with the ER to the side, Elizabeth Regina, Queen Elizabeth I, with a crown to the top. And then a portrait there to the obverse, her standard portrait, not the special one, with her left-facing bust, her Tudor ruff, dress, and crown to the top of her head, with legend around. We can see here a crown mint mark, and for all non-dated coins, of course, the mint mark narrows down the date the coin could have been made to a few years in her reign. Moving now on to the gold sovereign, as there was no half sovereign or smaller values, straight into the sovereign, and this is a truly, truly lovely designed coin. We have there to the reverse a very small quartered arm shield in the centre of a lovely English rose design, reaching all the way out to the border, and then there's a border with a long legend all the way around, of course in Latin. We then have to the obverse, one of my favourite designs, a crowned, throned bust of Queen Elizabeth I. With a crown to her head, she holds the royal orb and sceptre. There is a lovely design for the background, and an amazing rendition of the throne, with the portcullis design below. All in all, a lovely, massive, great, historic gold coin. But there's one larger. We have the longest named coin, the 3 half sovereigns, a very long denomination name, and a very large coin. We have the same design here, in all its splendour and glory, on a gold coin that is absolutely huge. I can't find the exact diameter as the coin is very, very rare, but it wouldn't be too far off to 50 millimeters, as a sovereign was 42. So a huge coin there, larger in diameter than the cartwheel 2 pence of reference, if you know that coin and have it in your collection. It's an absolutely massive, huge piece of gold, an extremely rare coin today with a lovely design. Now don't worry, I did not forget about experimental milled coinage. Throughout the video you may have been thinking, aha, you have missed the milled variety of that denomination. But fret not, as here at the end I'll show to you all the experimental milled coinage minted under the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, the first monarch to feature on milled coinage. The lowest denomination minted onto the milled coinage was the 3 pence. Now here it is from the first year of milled coins, 1562, and as this coin beautifully demonstrates, milled coinage did work back in the 1500s. and as we can see, it is a very beautiful coin with great milling around the edge, all intact there to prevent clipping. So a good coin with a good idea. But of course it didn't catch on until the 1600s, because it was very, very expensive to do. The cost to make a milled threepence, as we can see here, was so far greater than a normal threepence, a hammered one, it was not worth the time and the effort in the 1500s. They did persevere though with many denominations and many designs, as on the groat here. They laid the foundations for the milled coinage we use to this day. Here is a milled groat, and we can see a slightly different design, but the same process has been used, of course, to add all the little beading all around the rim with the obverse and the reverse there, making it very obvious if any clipping has happened, and the coins could then be refused. The sixpence piece had a few designs and styles of milled trials. Here is the first one from 1562, and we can see just exquisite design beauty here. Look at the dress of Elizabeth I. So much detail to every part of the coin. The whole legend is in perfect uniform, as we can see here even on another style of one from the same year, 1562, when trials were taking place more heavily. But as I say, very, very uniform coin, all milling intact, and a lovely, lovely design. The shilling had milled test as well, the same design as the sixpence was used. These weren't all just tests that were thrown away afterwards. These were used in circulation. They were circulated coins, they made them, so why not use them? The high cost, time and effort to produce them made sure that many less were made than any hammered varieties, so then as today, the milled versions were much, much rarer to see. There was one gold denomination, the £half, struck in a milled design, as we can see here, and as with all of them, a very beautiful coin, very uniform, all the milling intact, and great design detail, all done by hand, struck one at a time in the milled press. Makes a great product, as I've been saying, as we can see here. A truly lovely and very hard to counterfeit coin, or very hard to clip coin. A great secure coin, as we can see there. Back then, though, of course, hammered coins are easier and cheaper to produce, and so they were the main coins of the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, up until technology improved in the 1600s and milled coins made their return. So there we go. There's an overview of the coinage of Elizabeth I. Hopefully it's given you an overview and an insight into the day-to-day currency of Elizabethans in the 1500s and what money they would have used. Of course, please do comment down below your favourite denomination from Elizabeth I's times. My personal favourite is the big 1.5 sovereign, a true coin to behold. I would love to hold in my hand. If you've enjoyed and learned something new, then please of course do subscribe to our channel, and of course thank you for watching to the end. That is much appreciated, and we'll see you again soon for some more coins in the future on Bits and Bobs. Bye for now.